Alright, welcome back everyone. Here we are, hopefully starting our last day up. We got our, pretty good lighting on the inside there. Something just... Okay, that's just the wiring on the back. Heard something rattle around. I was looking for what fell. I'm really pleased with how this one's turned out. Had I think a really nice look to it. I'm trying, like I say, just lots of... I like all the details, and it's been a long road, but I think it was worth it in the end. I was gonna show y'all, see how the light comes through that stained glass there. That is where I'm gonna be going rogue here in a few minutes. Gonna not follow directions, as I'm prone to do sometimes, because I like that lighting effect on that window. So heads up, that's coming up. But if you're new here, this is what I do. I buy these kits and build them step by step, mostly in real time. You get to see all my successes and all my failures, and that was bright, how I hopefully fix those inevitable failures they come up. Upload daily and just try and have a good time. We're not solving the world's problems, just building silly little models, having a bit of fun. If you see any kits or builds or sets you want me to take a shot at, feel free to drop in the comments. I'm always looking to add onto my list. And I've got the most intelligent audience on YouTube because y'all provide me with nothing but the best of options. So, that being said, we got this piece, which is supposed to be the back of our clock face, and the piece that I'm providing, old white cardboard box. I think you'll see what that's for here in a second. But, as I said, I'm going to go against the grain and not do what they want me to. What they're saying we're supposed to do, well, I guess actually, okay, no, we're supposed to take this light and have it facing the back of this thing, and the light's gonna be going through the clock to the front. I'm not gonna do that. My plan is I'm gonna put this piece on, and we'll never see it again. What I do is works. Let me actually get the old phone stand out here, see if I can brace this up so y'all can actually see a little better. What can I brace it against, y'all? It won't break. Maybe hook it under there. I don't want to get on those steps. I don't like that. Oh well. Guess I'll just have to fix them if it does. Okay, what I'm going to do is mount this guy like they told me to. Then I'm going to try and put this light on the back of that, or the front of it or whatever, like so. And then I'm going to try and build me a reflector to sort of cover this section to push that light back, hopefully balanced through all this stained glass. But if this one goes long, that's why I decided to go on my own. And I'm already having trouble with these wires again. They're going to be in the way, so I hate to do it, but I'm going to undo my... I thought I wouldn't have to worry about this again. I need this one to be loose and free. Well, it was connected well, that's for sure. Okay. Alright, well, now it's all come apart. Okay, so I get that out of the way, hopefully. I'm nervous about laying this thing over because I'm scared I'm going to break something off, but I do need access to the... Okay, let's see. Okay, so, first things first, let's flip this thing over and hold it in place. Actually, yeah, I guess I want that blue showing through on the clock. not centered. So it's not gonna, well, I guess that's probably. I'll leave it. I'll leave it blue. Just gonna take out the old Gorilla Super Glue, do a couple of dots on here, and hold it all together. Just here and here. And roll you over and just make sure it stays down. This piece on right here. So let's just the old B7000. Won't take much to hold it in, so let's see if I can get some dots to form up. Work my way around. I don't think we'll see them through the clock lens or whatever you want to call that. So just squeeze it around, get the glue to grab hold. Now, so I want to mount my light facing towards y'all, backwards. And I think that seems like a good job for the old hot glue gun to make sure I get you in place and locked in about like so, I think. And I'm still thinking about what kind of shape to cut that cardboard in. I think I got enough to make 2 runs at it. I think if I do this side should be enough. And the flat might actually work out in my favor. Let's see here. Where'd my scissors with the orange handles go? They should be. Ah, they're there. The thing is, it's amazing how quickly I can lose things in here. Okay, so just get this down to. I think I can actually probably take this top piece off too. I got enough to make 2 runs at it, I believe. Okay, so I can get you guys over again and just go right about there. Facing outwards. Okay. Now, I'm just looking on there. I'm not seeing any of them. Okay, there. Yeah, that's. As I say, finally found the marks on there where, so I know which one's which. Now, like I said, put. Actually, I'm going to put another dab over here to hold this wire down. I hope. Okay. Get that string out of the way. Down here. I need to take off at least that much off the edge, so let's go. That seems about right. And I'm thinking there to there. It almost goes top to bottom there. That almost matches up perfectly with that window. Okay. Let's run a bead here on my little ledge here. Plop you in and it centered and push forward. Okay, so got that. Like I said, I think I'm gonna have enough gap there for that light to bounce around in there, hopefully. The top part. Right there. Let's see if I can just tack it in on the sides, maybe. Clean the nozzle off yet again. Try not to melt my plastic. Get another dab in there. I need more. More on top of it, maybe. There we go. So, okay, that's what I ended up with, and we'll find out together. Seems pretty stable. We'll find out together whether or not that was a good idea and it works after a while. Actually, I guess it's time to reapply the wiring already. Y'all know how much fun I had with this last night. If you don't, it's probably not worth watching again. Okay, that does fit in there. Okay, so these, okay, those guys stayed together. And see a little black ink on that one. Get you into that group. I'm just going to stick with the wire nuts because that worked okay yesterday. Although they're not grabbing onto nut. Okay. And I guess I'm gonna need the power too. Okay. It's gonna be one of those days already. Okay. This is the red one. Just pulled, no I didn't. Thought I pulled my light off the fixture in there. Okay, that didn't stick very well anyway. Okay. 3 of those. And the black one. Okay, they all came back on. Cool. And let's see how the effect is on my window. Okay. Yeah, that does a pretty good job of diffusing and reflecting. I think I like that better than having the clock lit up. You can still see where the light is there at the back of the clock too, so I think that's, I'm feeling that more than I was with the, I'd rather have that than the clock. Okay. So, thankfully, that part's finally done. Oh, other way. And bright light, bright light. Okay. Now, knock those out. And it's time for the battery tray. So, this in here, and definitely gonna need the glue. I think I'll just stick with the hot glue to make it. I thought it was gonna be a pressure fit on that one. Didn't check beforehand. So let's some hot glue on there. It says it's still red, but I bet it goes. Like that. That. Just run a bead through the corner. Towards the corner there, it looks like, actually. Put those down in there more. Okay, it's staying. All of these guys squeeze in here, supposedly. Okay. They did not take, the battery box fits in, but the wires don't. So okay. Not what you want to see. Stand up in there. Once you put the battery box in, okay, it's going to be wedged in against the wires there. And turned. Okay. Wires over there. Okay, so that's what I ended up with. It's not secured in any way, so that's probably going to fall out a lot. So I think this thing's probably just a waste of time. Maybe you're better off just I guess it does sort of contain these wires. Of course, I got the added. I guess maybe leave it in there just to wrangle the wires together. hose when I do it. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that like that. Okay, I had contemplated trying to build the dust cover for this thing, but I think as much trouble as I've had so far, that's probably not going to happen. Get some, and now we're getting more vines. Page stick together? No. Okay, so we're supposed to take somewhere I've got a supposed to do, this one worked out to be right at 20 centimeters, which is what we're supposed to be aiming for. So I'm going to cut a second one to the same length, because we need 4, it says. Now they got some on the back that I'm probably not going to worry about. You're supposed to use these things to sort of obscure the wiring on the back. I think I'll just not do that. Seems extraneous. Because I don't particularly plan to show anybody the back of this thing, especially with that battery compartment the way it is. So I may only need one of these. Okay. Now, we're supposed to go ahead and that one went pretty quick. Let's do this one too. I can get it to get to start and sort of work your way down. Okay. Yeah, what else? We're supposed to get some around here, sort of working our way up to our vines up on the top. So I think I'll just start anchored up here at the top and sort of work my way down. I'll use at least 2 of them, maybe 3. Like I said, but some of them are supposed to come off the back to hide our wires here, and I'm not going to worry about that. I will. I better leave those wires alone. I'm gonna get angry with them eventually. Let's see. So I'll just start right here with it, just sort of at the end of that. Got one sort of just continue. Make it look like it's sort of going on. And if I can stay on there. Okay, yeah. I'll have this one sort of run. Ooh, I'm going to run it through our railing here. And over this top. Then down. Yeah. Okay. So let me drop right there. Just pull you into that. And down to the back. This one. And I have this one wrap around the front, sort of, yeah, okay, so drop right there, and end up right over here. That one got us that. yet another mushroom. Okay, I'll put it back on in a minute. I think maybe start on this end and go that way with this one. Anchor you back here. Wrap you straight around here. Over to the back. I'll have you sneak up somewhere around through here. Just try to make it look as organic as I can. Maybe have it reach to the... Ooh, almost, but not quite. So we'll go up to the top level on this one, I think, right? Oops, let my SD card fill up again. So, I'll also let my glue gun go to sleep. Okay, I got it to here, so I'm gonna finish up, or on this side. So I would ideally stretch it all the way to this piece to have the, and it's right there on it. I'm gonna go for it. Just barely reaching it. Stay in there. Okay. Getting more vines going, so I'm not hating the vine look. I'll do strings out of the way here. Y'all probably can't even see them, but that's all I see when I look at that. One more. Do one more. And try and figure out a good. And I'm gonna do just run it straight from top to top. Just try and stretch it all the way across there. Just have sort of a cap behind, I think. So one drop right there. Go into it. Get you anchored in. And don't want to cover up my moss here, so I'm going to go to the back of this one. Likewise, the back of my little railing here. You can just sort of terminate right on top of that other one. So that's sort of maybe making a loop. More strings everywhere. And something just occurred to me about this mushroom. I have a use for that later tonight, so I'm going to save that for that. Okay. Okay, let's see how these vines are looking now, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there. Still got one more to go, but I'm going to let that be my limit. And actually, once again, it's time to get out the old mossy, spongy stuff. Stir it up, try and get as much of it separated as I can. Good shake, let the air get in. And my diluted, just white glue with water. Try and just get a few drops. And get the drops to... Not the instructions of this stuff, but just some. It's about as explicit as it gets as far as where to put the moss or how much of it. Just some. Just try and get me some to attach to my vines. Touch it into it, hope some of it stays. And some of it is. Okay. Too much of a blob there. Okay. And is there any... Nothing beyond some. Like I said, they got more specific instruction on how they envision it, but I think, okay, I do need more moss back here on these things. That's standing out like a sore thumb. That the second layer is clean. So that's. Just trying to touch it on and let what stays stick and move on. Okay. I think that one. Let's see how that looks. And it needs more. This section. Okay, that suits me better. Yeah, more evenly distributed. A little bit. And it's also saying go back and put the leaves on like I did at the beginning. But the leaves don't look as good as the moss to me. These are sort of, I couldn't attach them directly. I don't have the patience to attach them directly onto the with the way that orient them correctly. So I'm going to stick with just the moss on that part. And I think, yep, with that completes our structure. All we got left to do is we got one more little, I guess 2 more little scenes to make here and one over in this corner. But y'all know me, famous last words. I think we're going to be in good shape on time here tonight. Because none of these there's no bottles to be made. So there's no the extremely tiny, tedious pieces to go. Grab my brush here right quick. Clean up my moss. Okay. And back in place. I don't know where you're at. Okay. Now, got stuff. Make us a chair, and our witch's hat, and a broom, and some books. Witch's hat, and this is part of the witch's hat too. So I'm just this top strip. So let's through there. I'm going to use you and that one. Sort of like the labels on the bottles. I don't know why they couldn't perforate this one. cut one side, you can't. It's too thin to cut the other. Alright. So I'll go into X-Acto knife mode. Okay, plan B. That is just supposed to be a strip around the bottom of our witch's hat here, or what do they call it, a magic hat. So, just a black stripe. I can make a black stripe. I hope. A little bit wide on that part. Let's fill in right there. The more I try and fix it, the worse it's going to get, so I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Okay. And then buckle. So that's definitely a job for the old B7000. I'll put it on this, where I made that thick spot. Still. There we go. Okay, set you aside, and make 3 books. I got it's haunted. Okay, so go with the old Gorilla Super Glue to get the instant bond on it there. Lined up right, the white pages facing the same way on all of them, so maybe I can. It's done with a reasonable amount of quickness. Use them while I work on the other 2. Always gotta be one of these that don't want to work. Okay. And well, that glue's probably going to be set up instantly anyway. I'll go ahead and make up the chair just to make sure it has a good time, good and cured. straightforward. Okay. Yeah. Looks like sort of not square, so it's like got an angle to the seat, so we want to. Let's see, yeah, we got a straight leg and an angled leg. I think the angled leg goes, or maybe it's just me looking at it weird. Yeah. It's definitely got an angle to it. Yeah, that's straight. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we want to do angled leg to the front. So we're going to line that up here. Put it right behind that little notch there. So I don't think. Well, hang on. I can't use my square for this. I just put that piece right there around the corner and angle front. No, I don't think I'll have room to maneuver it if I do that. So it was a thought. Just gonna freehand it. This is back in the corner anyway, so it should be fairly forgiving. Nice even coat here. Got that right one forward. Okay, pretty close. I had a paper towel. There you are. Pretty good. Okay. Okay, so that way. Smooth even coat. Down for 10 seconds or so. Cross off the edge maybe. Okay. Seems pretty stable. Pressure from the top just extra. Alright. Now, this guy, it's going to be the tricky part, I think. Goes on right here. Okay, I can grab. I think I can do that. Okay. Maybe without gluing myself too. As per usual, it's even coat. Get you. And see there, I missed. Like I said, it's going to be back in the corner, so we should be okay on. Okay. Chair complete. Set that aside and let that glue really get cured up. Come back to my book. You should be good to go. And stickers. Okay, 3 more books completed. Now I'm just gonna find, and once again they gave us 2 brooms, and we're gonna park it up against the wall. So I'm not gonna cut out both of these. It just seems silly. I have it leaning. This side's going to be showing, so I want to get that side cut out. Okay. I can appreciate them wanting to have the details, but at the same time, I don't want to waste my time on something that's going to be parked against the wall. Something like so. A couple of drops from the old B7000. Three. Spread the glue, and here we go. One completed broomstick. Actually, I think I'll go ahead and finish up everything before I mount them, because that'll give me a chance to get all this built. Okay, now got more cauldron, and I'm gonna ignore some instructions this time too. This is where my stray mushroom is gonna end up. I'm supposed to sort of this one crumpled up, not necessarily folded. A little. I'm gonna end up corner there, something like so. So it looks like sort of the goal. And they're saying to make some sticks with our. Okay, well I didn't ever use this, so I can do this. This part when I was skimming the instructions. Okay, so let's start off with just a little bead, a little B7000 on that back edge. Healthy bead, go back and forth a couple of times. Start popping these guys in. On there. I'm not sure what this effect is supposed to be, but that's what the instructions have us doing. just sort of in there. Okay. And excuse me. Now this thing, let's get a couple more of our little sea anemone studs. Try and find. That looks like a good pair right there. Good 3 of them right there. They tear off. Nope, gotta cut them. And the mushroom. Got a little bit of moss. As well, supposedly. Now, let's do on this side. I wonder if I can get that in there without destroying everything I've already done. I doubt it. Okay. That doesn't look too dissimilar from what they have. A couple more drops of B7000 in here and down there. Mushroom in that bottom one because it's going to have something, so we'll have something to lean against maybe. Our little anemone in there. Likewise, something sort of bracing against it. Okay. And set you aside because that actually goes into that pot goes into this pot. And this pot's supposed to get these things on the bottom to act as feet, which I also, I keep using the word dubious. This so let's see, so I just put get good down to the bottom. Those are nowhere near what I think they're supposed to be. I actually think they're supposed to be a little further out. These guys on there as feet. It's going too good. Okay, so let those get dried, and the last thing we're going to have to build are some barrels, which also include these strips that I can't cut out. So Sharpie's coming back out. So that's these wooden beads. guess I could try my luck with the X-Acto knife on that. See if I can get a couple of them. I just need, I think 2 of them will be all I need. Let's see what happens. This is one of those things that I think should have been stickers. Not going to be straight lines. Okay, making good progress. I'm going to go ahead and try and do all 6 of them. I said that and proceed to cut way into that one. The more strips I cut, the more structural integrity I'm losing. That one went way wrong. I don't know if it's showing on there or not, but it's okay. I do need to trim up this top edge. And should be able to just run down the edges here. Okay. There's mostly black strips here. I think that one took. Whatever I can't do, I'll do with it. Yeah, didn't take. Okay. So. Pick something up and knock everything else down. And like what I usually do on these circular things, I start with a give me a little curve here. Hopefully make things a little more cooperative. And these look like plenty of extra space on there, so that's lots of overlap here, so that's good. Go Gorilla Super Glue again. I'm really not feeling this. I'll see how I will give it a shot, but I'm dubious yet again. Okay, so just run me nice coat. Give me a good place to anchor it to. Get you on. Pressure on there. Get some. This thing's anchored down. Got a little. Okay, it is a little wide for the. Try and make it even when it's all slim. We got that little lip there, but I think I'll live with that. And then put some more glue on this edge. A little less than I'd use for that. And just bring you around nice and tight. Okay. So, got that one wrapped, and the caps are here. They fit, and the caps are bigger than the. See, they're not some. The ones in the picture fit perfectly, so I don't think these were the original beads that they were planning on using. Let's see. We only need one of them. Let's just sort of squish the sides in, maybe. One of them's not going to need. I just need one side on one of them because one of them's standing up. So I'm going to smush both sides in on this one because this will be my one that's standing on end. Let's see what happens here. I'm not. Oh, I guess actually this first. Let's see how much bigger it is than it needs to be. Stick with the super glue, I think. Nice. Which cover the whole top evenly, I hope. Okay. So I got that. Now let's see how my X-Acto knife skills work on a circle. Not very good, they didn't go through. Still didn't do a very good job. Tore everything up here. Okay, so new plan for the next one is going to be to put on the end first and then wrap it. But let's see. I don't even think this will cover. Maybe. Maybe it'll distract from it. Okay. Well, too thin to apply the glue to. Okay, there we go. That's what we're going to be at. I'm going to go with the little B7000 few drops, and then I'm going to anchor the other end with the super glue again. Okay, actually it's working out real good now. Just coming out really lightly there. Actually, not too bad, just as is. I may go with that. Okay. Okay, let that dry for a minute. I'll start working on this one. Like I said, this one, I'm going to start with the ends and then wrap it as I proceed to blow by the hour mark. Coat. Okay. Now, roll this one down. Okay, I think that's going to look better. We'll see. Do both sides, because like I said, this one's going to be laying on its edge. Okay, did not get that nowhere near centered, but I think principle still stands. For our wrap. Everywhere, but well, I'll say that where it they'd given us the proper beads that fit these sizes, I think would be in better shape, but I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to... I think. Okay, but I am going to go Sharpie on this one though. Let's see what happens if I just lock on that edge. Honestly. A little more little jagged, but I still, yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Over here. Okay. And there's supposed to be a third ring in the middle. I guess I can try that with these guys. I got enough spares there to give it a whirl. That didn't, I say that didn't look bad, but I think it comes down, like I said, I keep saying, is this the wrong bead? Okay, let's put a little bit on the end here, get our anchor in place. Eyeball the center. And I get that nice fine B to B7000 to come out again. Yeah, that's nice, nice, nice. Back around. All right. Let's say, been better, been worse, but that's like that with our that with our top on it. Okay. Too much confidence now. Finish this up and we'll mount these and we'll be done. Should be sometime the next, I'm thinking next 5 to 10 minutes we should be ready to roll here. Anchor. There. Okay. So, got, still worried about these feet, so I'm going to save that for dead last. So we got our owl and our suitcase. Actually, let me clean all the other pieces out here. We, as I said, is imminent the end. Imminent the end. The end is imminent. I think that's a little better. Okay. Let's see here. Got, let's see, barrels, our owl, and our suitcase. Go right around here on our this little zone. Okay, so our suitcase goes. Make more sense to put it on the suitcase than the ground. Nice. You sort of go here, side in front of our window. That one goes on its side. Okay, this one. Healthy bead on there to get around that little lip of our wrap. Go sort of up there, next to beside our suitcase. And this, our owl goes on top of that barrel. Again, healthy dose to get the this guy on the side, so let's go a bead down the seam here. There's our seam for our wrap, so we'll make it to the back side. Just you right there. Okay. Now, of course I can't pick it up to show you, but I'll try and get in here. It's going in a little wider shot. I don't think it. Let's see, Colleen. What kind of? Make sure I can put something underneath there to give you a little bit of a view. Let the thing run away on me. Find something to chalk it. Marker here. I just don't think it's still not gonna. Maybe. Okay, this stuff doesn't seem to be moving, so I think I'll go with that. Oh, I hadn't assembled it yet. I forgot about that yet. There. But our books get stacked up on our chair, so. Just a little dab there. Two green books, so I'll set them with the red one in the middle. On top. The hat goes on top of the books, supposedly. Somehow concentrate the glue on the back half here, because I'm not sure where it's going to make contact, but it's got to be somewhere in that zone. Okay. And it occurs to me now that I need to let that dry before I install it, so that's what I'll do. I'll take a little break and let that dry. But I'm going to go ahead and install. Actually, this goes into here, let's say sort of angled. And I hope my feet stay in place when I do this. Let's put a right. Hopefully mostly around the edge here. So I want it sort of at an angle there. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So no, it fell in. Okay. New plan. Out. In there. Not too much. Okay. Yeah. You can see down into it, but I'm going to let that slide. Okay, now I'm going to let those, once we install these guys, we'll be done. But I want to get that glue good and dry before I do that, so I'll be right back after 10 or 15 minutes passes with me. Okay, as I now know that this video is approximately an hour and a half long. Didn't realize it was that long. Since I got a little, you can sort of see it down in that other pot. So I'm going to put, it calls for the pot to be, I call it the pot, a cauldron, whatever you want to call it, to be over here next to the entryway. I'm going to put it over in the corner, and I have the chair closer to sort of hide that little, sort of back it in like so. But it also means getting glue on our feet here. So let's get that part done, because there's not, I'm going to be generous with that, because I'm going to want to hopefully grab on with all of the foot, not just the tip, because that's not much to grab with. Load them up there. So hopefully I can get in there. Okay. Tweezers and okay. Move it in there, make sure it's down. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully that glue will hold that in place. And likewise, that means my chair and my hat, my books go right over here. I just realized I could, not much light in that corner, but it gives me a little bit more to work with. Okay, so get you out of there. And just like a little more surface area on this guy. So as bad as our cauldron. Put you in like so. And then I think I'm going to put my broom. So I'm going to put it like sort of leaning over top of our cauldron. Maybe, actually I'm going to lean it on the chair back there. Definitely have to tune. I'll try and remember to post a good short showing all the inside details tomorrow when I get home from work. So like 13-14 hours after I post. Let's see here. Get me a little blue on the bottom here. So I'm try and get you in between cauldron and leaning up on the chair. Push you back a little bit. Nope, one up against the wall. Don't put you on the chair. Okay, that looks good from both sides. Yeah, I think that'll work. Of course, back in the old situation where I can't pick it up to show you. But you know what? I'm gonna take another one of my 5-10 minute breaks and let that glue get situated so I can show you. Y'all need to be able to see all this, the results tonight. They're all tucked away, hidden, but you know, you can sort of see where the owl and the barrels have ended up here. I'm still pretty satisfied with that Sharpie barrel rings. But let me, like I say, give that a few minutes to dry and get sticky, and I'll come back and show you the insides. So, be right back with that. Okay, gonna take a shot. There's the back corner and how it ended up. I think that's a pretty good look. Let's knock these lights out. Let's see how illuminated it is. Yeah, everything lights in person. The lights aren't as bright as they are on camera, but it's a nice sort of mellow glow. I think, you know, let's see, everything does light up nice and well. There you got our garden. I like that the lights actually go underneath the table, our desk or whatever there as well. Sort of really gets get a good impression of what everything's supposed to be. This kits like this are always a big challenge, making the actual pieces rather than having the cutouts made for you. I like them every now and then. It's not something I don't think I can handle doing them all the time because it's just so much work. And you know, as you can see, you know, was 18-19 days to build it. So looking at least with prep time, you're looking at 20 hours, give or take, low 20s. But in the end, I really do like the way these things look when they're done. I think it's really nice, and you know, it's amazing what you can make with, you know, things that, aside from, you know, the hat and the owl. You know, all these things you had to make by hand, and it really, I just really like that, how it all come together. Let's say, if you're up for a challenge, definitely worth it in the end, I think. But I understand not want to do it because it is a tremendous amount of work. But that's all for that one. Let me pop on the lights here for a second. Now, actually remembered to pull out the new project I'm starting up tomorrow. I think it's going to be popular. Get a little bit of everything in here. Get to build models and machines. The Rocker Marble Travel London. So it's a marble run with, you know, the London skyline built in. You know, it's a rocker, so you know it's going to be good. Let's see, 400 pieces, so it should be 3 to 5 days. Shouldn't be a terribly long one. And once we're done with this one, we will go into the Christmas builds, which I thought there was. No, it's not on there. But well, I say little. It's I think I like doing the marble runs, and when you get the good ones, and Rocker usually makes pretty good ones, it's that much more satisfying. I had some of those cheap ones that didn't turn out that well. But like I said, we'll get going on that tomorrow. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share, do whatever you want to with all of that. Be good to one another, stay safe, and click on the link. There's my channel over there if you'd like to subscribe. There's my other channel where I do experiments, or fail experiments like I did today. That's what YouTube thinks you should be watching, and that is a playlist for this whole build. I'll see you tomorrow.